Hi learners, welcome back again to our session, and this is the session we talked about making this become more easier, more palatable, that you can be able now to digest. So last time when we met, you were able to look at how we can make this work to become more easier. So the topic was making work easier, but we want to look at how we can make it more easier for you. So in making work easier, we looked at specifically the movement part, and in the movement we were able to look at the stopping moving objects, how we can be able to stop that moving object. So we have got the moving object being the object on motion. So the moving object can be on motion. So how can we be able to make it stop? So last time when we met, we were able to look at different forms of forces. You remember we said that first we need to know what a force is. So what do you think a force is? Very good. So a force is a push, a pull, or a lift. A push, a pull, or a lift. So that is what force is. And in force, we were able to look at the magnetic force and the gravitational force. Out of the two, we realized that the magnetic force, we involve a magnet, and then there are two materials. One is magnetic material, another one is non-magnetic. And we said that this magnet will be able to get attracted to the magnetic material, while the non-magnetic material will not get attracted to the magnet. And again, we went to the gravitational force. And we said this is a special force that only acts around the earth. So those objects that are suspended, or when we throw an object up, we can be able to see this object coming down. In grade 7, we learned about a story in primary English about two people. These two people, one was called Didelius, another one was called Icarius. So when you reach there, you'll be able to get this story. So these two gentlemen was every time seeing the sun up there, and they wished to see the sun closer. So they made their wings and they started flapping them to go and see the sun. What do you think was the outcome? Very good. So these people did not see the sun. So we learn about, in other classes we'll be learning about what can make an object to fly. So one of them is that they lack the bone marrow. So this gentleman had got a bone marrow. So when they tried going up, there's a point they reached, and the gravitational force was able to pull them down. So they were not able to succeed. But apart from that, we looked at this gravitational force as those that applies on objects that are suspended on the earth's surface. Those things that are up, they are able to move, and at a point they come down. So when we have got that game of juggling that ball, you have got two balls in your hand, you throw one up, when it is coming down, you throw another one. So they keep on interchanging on the air. So that force you apply on that ball is going to make it to move from where it was resting in your hands and move up. So the force makes an object to move. Then at a point, there is going to be a gravitational pull. So it makes it fast to stop because it cannot change direction immediately. It is going to stop, then comes down. So that is the gravitational force. So when we met last time, we were able to give an assignment, and we want now to look at that assignment, having reviewed what we discussed last time. So our assignment number 1 was talking about the forces. So the force that stops objects moving upwards and pull them down is called, the force that stop them and pull them down is called. So choice A, we had got magnetic force. Choice B, gravitational force. Choice C, we have friction force. And choice D, we have inertia. So out of the 4 choices, you are able to select one as your best. So what was your answer? Very good. So we go to our answer, and for us, we got the answer to be gravitational force. So this is the force that acts on those objects that are suspended on the Earth's surface and pulls them down. So those who got this right, if you got this right, keep up and try do more. If you did not get this one right, we said that all the rooms can be full, but there is only one room that has never been full, and that room is the room for improvement. So you can be able to improve in the next that we are going to do today. So apart from this, if you did not get it, now you know that gravitational force makes those objects that go up to stop, and then it pulls them down. And we said the opposite force must be stronger than the force that is on that object so that it stops and maybe change the direction. So let's go to what we want to discuss today. And today we are going to look at a special thing, and it is still the same topic, but now it is the topic of making work easier. But here we said we make it more easier. We are going to still look at the movement, but in the movement now we are going to look at 2 things. There is stationary objects, and then again we are going to look at the moving objects. So we are going to look at the 2 of them. The other one, we were able to discuss those forces that can make them stop and then move. But now we are going to look at the ones that are already on a stationary position and those ones that are moving. So before we start, we have got those forces that can make an object to move. We said that a force cannot make an object to move. It can make a moving object to stop. It can make a moving object to change direction, or it can deform the shape of that moving object. And a good example is 2 vehicles coming from opposite direction. Then they bump on each other. So if the 2 are small cars, then they are going to stop. When they hit each other, they'll stop. But if we can have now a long trailer and a small car, then they bump on each other. You'll find the force that is being applied with a small car is less than that one of a trailer. So the trailer is likely to hit it and then moves it to a certain point, and then it will change. So we have got the object there. It is stationary. So that force that makes them to stand at a static position or at rest is inertia. Then we have got that force that again can make them to move. It is still inertia, but now inertia on motion. The other one was inertia at rest. So when we jerk that cardboard, the coin is going to drop there. A good example is when we are traveling. You sit on a car, in a car. So when the driver starts moving the car, then you are likely to go backwards or to lean backwards, just because our body was at rest. But now the car is changing from rest to moving. Then when the car applies a brake, when that car applies now a brake, that car can move, and at a point it is going to see maybe oncoming vehicle or reach at a roundabout somewhere, and then there will be indication that there is a red light, so it is going to stop. So when this car stops, we have got that person. The first one was in that car. The second one is now when the car has stopped. So when the car is stopping, the body was on motion. So what will happen? You will lean in front. And if you do not wear the seatbelt properly, you are likely to hit the in front seat. Then we have got that thing can be jacked, that cardboard. If it is jacked, that coin is at rest. So it is likely to fall inside that glass. So those are the forces that we have discussed today. We have said that inertia is divided into two. There is inertia at rest that makes or acts on the objects at rest. Then there is inertia on motion that applies on the moving objects. So as we finish the lesson, we want to look at now the extended activity, and our activity number 1 says the tendency to remain at the same state. For an object to remain at the same state is called A, we have gravity, B, magnetic, C, inertia, and D, the force. So out of those 4, which one remains at rest? Then our number 2, we have got a coin there on the cardboard, and then there is a glass. Somebody wants to jack that cardboard. Jacking is pulling faster. So what will happen to the coin when the cardboard is jacked? A, it will fall in the glass. B, it will fall out of the glass. C, it will remain on the cardboard. And D, it will move with the cardboard. So out of those 4 choices, there is one which is right. So when you jack, when you pull that thing faster, when you pull the cardboard faster, what will happen to that cardboard? So I welcome you in the next lesson, where we are going to review this and see what is likely to be the answer for this. But for now, I want to stop there and leave you with a bye.